hello, hello. Two, try two, try two. Hello, hello, hello. Two, two.
It's on. So don't turn it on now. Don't drill it.
Hello, 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 hello. Try two, two, two. Two, try two, try two.
Thank you, Ghana Dance Ensemble, for this wonderful performance. My name is Mohammed Mubarak Khidir. I am a lecturer of Arabic at the Department of Modern Languages. This morning, I am going to be your MC together with
Franklin Akabio Danlebo, tutor Spanish session, Department of Modern Languages.
Your Excellencies, present, members of the university community, members of the diplomatic corps, students, alumni, friends of the Department of Modern Languages, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be here at this time to welcome you to this event. As we all know, human beings must thank their Creator for whatever He does for them. And as a department, we cannot deviate from this natural positive tradition. Department of Modern Languages of University of Ghana is 60 years now, and we deem it fit to celebrate and thank our Creator for taking us this far. So my work this morning is to welcome you to this event and to tell you that we have gathered here to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Department of Modern Languages of University of Ghana. And as part of the celebration, this colloquium is organized to commemorate the activities of the celebration. So once again, I welcome all of you to this event. And lastly, I say, Marhaban bikum, bienvenidos, huyanyent, Dabro Pazalavat, Karibu. Shukran, shukran. Thank you very much.
Also, we'd like to acknowledge some of our guests, and so we acknowledge Your Excellency Javier Gutierrez, Ambassador, Embassy of Spain. So please, thank you, thank you. We also acknowledge Your Excellency Daniel Garces Carabali from the Embassy of Colombia. We acknowledge the presence of Your Excellency Ilka de la Rosa, Management of Environmental and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of Colombia. We acknowledge you, Your Excellency Jorge Bardes, Head of Mission, Embassy of Chile. Thank you for coming. We acknowledge as well Your Excellency Liliana Gomez de Weston, Ambassador of Embassy of Peru in Ghana. Let's acknowledge her. We also acknowledge Your Excellency Ms. Lorena Gonzalez, Head of Consular and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of Mexico. We acknowledge the Counselor, Head of the Cultural and Trade Sectors, Embassy of Brazil in Ghana, Your Excellency Mrs. Luisa Maria de Lima Horta Barbosa. Thank you for coming. And we acknowledge the presence of the Ambassador, the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Your Excellency Sultan bin Abdurrahman Al Dakil. Thank you for coming.
As you are aware, if you have gone through the program, we are going to have a competition. Each section is going to give us their performance. And because of that, we have selected a panel of judges to see to that aspect of the program. From the onset, we want to introduce the panel of judges. The first person is Dr. Terebike Fosu, Senior Lecturer from the Department of Dance Studies, University of Ghana. We also have Ms. Dede Tete, Assistant Lecturer, Department of Dance Studies, also University of Ghana. And the third person is Dr. David E. Kwe, also a lecturer from the Department of Dance Studies, University of Ghana. Now, it is time for us to know who is going to be our driver, quote in quotes. Who is going to be the chairperson of this event. And I am happy to call on the chairperson of the planning committee of the 60th anniversary celebration in the person of Professor Benedicta Adokali Lomote. Can you give it to her? Prof is coming to introduce the chair of the program for us. You are welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Deans, directors, heads of departments, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and representatives of diplomatic missions in Ghana, our sponsors, associates, friends of the Department of Modern Languages, staff, students, and cherished alumni, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, and honored guests, good morning. It is my great pleasure to introduce our chair for the first part of this event. Professor Gordon S.K. Adika is an associate professor of English and currently serves as the Dean of the School of Education and Leadership at the University of Ghana. Previously, he was the director of the Language Center for several years. A product of Accra Academy, he obtained his BA and PhD from the University of Ghana and MPhil from the University of Cambridge. He is also a fellow of the Cambridge Commonwealth Society, an honorary membership for alumni of the University of Cambridge. Prof. Adika's research interests include academic writing and literacy, and English in second language context, areas in which he has extensively published. His expertise makes him a sought-after resource person for academic writing workshops, for graduate students and early career faculty at various universities across Ghana. Today, we are honored to have Prof. Adika as the chair of this colloquium, which forms part of our Department of Modern Languages 60th anniversary celebration. His insights and leadership will undoubtedly enrich our discussion and inspire us all. Please join me in welcoming Prof. Gordon S.K. Adika to this distinguished gathering. Thank you.
Can we give it to Prof once again? In fact, Prof has done a really wonderful job from day one till date. Now we want to hear from our chairperson his remarks. I welcome Prof. Gordon Adika.
Thank you very much, Professor Benedict Lumote. Thank you very much, Mr. MC. And good morning to you all. The Dean, School of Languages, Professor Josephine Chahine-Kwashi, distinguished keynote speaker and president of the Ghanaian Association of Hispanics, Professor Diodone Afachao, the head department of modern languages as our host department, Dr. Joanna Bwampon. Allow me to go through this list. Your Excellency, and forgive me if I mispronounce some of these foreign names. His Excellency Javier Guterres, Ambassador, Embassy of Spain. Your Excellency Daniel Gazes Garapali, His Excellency Eka de la Rosa, Management of Environmental and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of Colombia, His Excellency Jorge Valdez, Head of Mission, Embassy of Chile, His Excellency, no, Your Excellency Liliana Gomez de Weston, is that Weston, Ambassador, Embassy of Peru, Your Excellency, Miss Lorena Gonzalez, Head of Consular and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of Mexico. Your Excellency, Mrs. Luisa Maria de Lima Horta Barbosa, the Counselor, Head of the Cultural and Trade Sectors, Embassy of Brazil in Ghana. Your Excellency, Sultan bin Abdul Rahman Al Dakil, the Ambassador, the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Deans, directors, and heads of department present, the chair of the planning committee, Professor Benedict Lumote, the members of the planning committee, members of convocation, alumni of the Department of Modern Languages, students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a distinguished privilege to have been invited to chair this colloquium, which is one of the events marking the 60th anniversary celebration of the Department of Modern Languages. As we commemorate this milestone, I'm also reminded of my nearly 40-year association with the department, beginning with the Department of French. In the last quarter of 1985, I embarked on my undergraduate journey at the University of Ghana, studying French, English, and linguistics. It was during this time that I encountered remarkable lecturers such as Dr. Kaufman, Dr. Sampson, Dr. Tonui, Dr. Zanku, who were very young lecturers at that time, and of course, Dr. J.J. Achirega. Dr. Achirega, in particular, left a lasting impression with his story of an encounter with the police over a minor traffic offense. He would often recount how he introduced himself as Dr. J.J. Achirega from the University of Ghana and was promptly excused. This story, shared with each new cohort of students, underscored the privilege of belonging to the esteemed university community. Through this narration, he sought to dissuade us from wrongdoing and to value membership of the university community, which promotes integrity, cooperative principles, and practices infused with a humanist tradition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, in line with these principles and practices, we are gathered here under the umbrella of a colloquium based on the theme overcoming linguistic barriers, advancing global citizenship, and embracing humanism through foreign language education. The theme not only derives relevantly from UG's 75th anniversary theme, that is, nurturing resilience, adopting technology, embracing humanism, but also deeply resonates with the compelling realities of our globalized world. The theme invites us to appreciate the interconnectedness of today's world and the role of language in fostering mutual understanding and cooperation. It also invites us to interrogate how foreign language education can promote global citizenship. The key question is, how does foreign language education enable individuals to engage with different cultural perspectives and simultaneously embrace the humanistic values of empathy, respect, and understanding? I believe that at the end of the colloquium, all of us should have answers to this question and be further enlightened. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this colloquium reminds me of Professor Lawrence Boedi's lectures titled Linguistic Barriers to Communication in the Modern World, which were delivered in the 1994 J.B. Dankwa Memorial Lectures. A key statement he makes in the lectures is that, quote, "We need French, but we also need English, including Pidgin. And above all, we need our indigenous languages to support ECOWAS ideals." Boedi, 1994, page 66. In his lectures, Boedi highlights how linguistic barriers can lead to ethnic tension and conflict, underscoring the necessity of overcoming these barriers to foster social harmony. By arguing for the promotion of proficiency in multiple languages, including French, English, and Pidgin, and indigenous languages, Professor Boedi seeks to enhance cross-cultural understanding, a key component of global citizenship. In short, Professor Boedi's perspectives on the need for a multilingual approach in language promotion directly relate to the theme of overcoming linguistic barriers, advancing global citizenship, and embracing humanism. His views highlight the importance of linguistic diversity in fostering social cohesion, cultural understanding, and humanistic values, all of which are crucial for a globally interconnected world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy with the lineup of activities for this program. Beyond the colloquium keynote address, we have a roundtable discussion by outstanding recent alumni and professional alumni. And what excites me the most is that the participants are representative of the broad spectrum of languages taught in the department: Arabic, Chinese, Kiswahili, Russian, and Spanish. At the same time, the discussion sessions are pivoted around the categories recent alumni and professional alumni. This categorization reflects the planning committees and the department's insightful recognition that while honoring accomplished alumni, we must also celebrate our recent graduates. These emerging professionals represent a vital and growing network whose expertise and connections will be invaluable to the department's future success. I look forward to all the activities lined up, and especially Professor Diodone Afrachawu's keynote address. I'm also particularly excited about the insights our recent and professional alumni will share, and I believe their contributions will inspire us all. Thank you very much.
We thank you, Prof. Can you give it to Prof again? He deserves it. Now, the work of our panel of judges is about to begin. We are going to call the first group of students to show us their performance. We have the students' performance from the Kiswahili section of the Department of Modern Languages. Thank you, Ben. As they are preparing to come, I wish all the students good luck in their performances. Thank you.
Dance is the answer. What you Dance is the answer. What you're involved in is the now, and the now is blissful.
It's the kids, right? Sibanike platinum iwe akushinkanti ngiphi number lentando sihle manje shayi number kuze kuse akushiphe fresh tholakala achikubhekele kutoza afuni ninja siyabanika akhiphi diamond tholakala sibanike platinum iwe akushinkanti ngiphi number lentando sihle manje shayi number kuze kuse akhiphi fresh tholakala achikubhekele kutoza afuni ninja siyabanika akhiphi diamond tholakala kitu laini, katikati aliena maini, kitu flati, kitu laini, katikati aliena maini. Chapati, 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 chapati. Chapati, 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 chapati. Mix killer.
Calm them down.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kiswahili section. Thank you so much. The pressure is definitely on. Wow. Okay, please be calm. And we'll plead with you that if you want a video, just be in your seat, please. Just calm a bit and then video from wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kiswahili section, for that performance. Thank you. You can please clap for them. Okay, so now we will call on Prof. Gordon Adika again to help us and then introduce the keynote speaker. Let's please welcome Prof. Adika with a round of applause. Please, let's do it better. Let's do it better. Let's do it better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've never heard so much noise. It's so palpable. Anyway, I'm delighted. It's okay. I'm delighted to have been invited to introduce the distinguished keynote speaker, Professor graduated from the University of Ghana with double majors in Spanish and French. After graduation, he was recommended by Dr. Alumni, then head of the Spanish section, who carried out his national service obligation, the Spanish section of the Department of Modern Afachawo is an old boy of the Infansipim School. Prof, you are most welcome. Is he coming up, please?
So we welcome to the podium Professor Diodone Afachao, our keynote speaker. Please, let's continue to clap for him. Let's appreciate him. Let's appreciate him.
Can you hear me? All right. My, my voice tends to taper off when I'm giving speeches. So please, if you don't hear me well, just raise your hand and I'll raise my voice. Professor Adika, thank you very much for your presentation. I must say you have stolen my thunder, because you've touched on some of the issues I'll be raising in this keynote address. Dean, School of Languages, Professor Josephine Jahin Kwashi, nice to see you again. Dean of School of Education and Leadership and Chair of this event, Professor Gordon Adika of Kraka. Your Excellencies, ambassadors and representatives of the diplomatic missions in Ghana, deans, directors, heads of department, current and former heads of the Department of Modern Languages, coordinators, and senior members of the Department of Modern Languages, members of the DML at 60. Now I'm trying to be a Gen Z. Anniversary Planning Committee, you've done a wonderful job. Oh, you can hear me. Hello? Now, can you hear me? Yeah? You've done a remarkable job. Probably put on the greatest show ever on earth. Directors, that's all I've said that. Coordinators and senior members of the Department of Modern Languages, members of the DML at 60th Anniversary Planning Committee, sponsors, associates, friends of the Department of Modern Languages, staff, students and alumni, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, greetings from the Ghanaian Association of Hispanists, GA for short, in whose name I stand before you in this place and at this time, as its current president. Thank you for your invitation. I'm sure they're watching at 4 a.m. U.S. time. GA is on this lectern is a culmination of a 47-year sojourn that began in 1977. Now I've given up my age, right? As freshmen and women gathered on the forecourt of this hall, I remember as a 19-year-old how awe-striking everything was, from the Vice Chancellor's speech to the sprawling environs. And mind you, I had spent 7 years of my most formative years on another hill, Kwabotre, which was in my world then the citadel of academic excellence in Ghana. The evening after the morning ceremonies were regaled to the extraordinary and once-in-a-lifetime performance by none other than the Queen herself, Maria Makeba, who serenaded us with some of her signature songs like Pata Pata and Malaika. I sensed in my gut at that point that Kwabotre, well, was no lay gone, and that a new world was about to open for me. Travel and see, goes the popular saying, then you'll soon find out that your village is not the world. 43 years have passed since I graduated, yet time has stood still as far as memories of our lives on this campus go. So like many of us, certainly among members of GA, any excuse is good enough to come back home. more so on an occasion like the one we're celebrating today. Dear audience, lest I get carried away by my memories of the past, I'm mindful of the charge before me here this morning, as reflected in the topic of my presentation, promoting the study of Spanish at the University of Ghana, the GAH or GA perspective. It is therefore no coincidence that my topic should reflect key elements of the colloquium theme, overcoming linguistic barriers, advancing global citizenship, and embracing humanism through language education. Before I tease out the points of coincidence, let me first tell you a bit about GA. The idea for GA was first discussed at a meeting held at the Legon Hall Senior Common Room on August the 7th, 2009. In attendance were the following: Dr. Lamte, Samate Kojo, Moses Pamford, Komlago, Yao Agao Kakraba, John Tay, your own and very dear Joanna Bwampong, and yours truly. From that founding group of 8, the association now boasts of 19 members, all University of Ghana graduates. Do we have the display of the pictures? It's coming, right? No? Is it there? Okay, that's right, okay. When it comes, you see 19 of them. Not all of them are, all the 19 are on there. Ladies and gentlemen, since its founding, GA has successfully embarked on several projects aimed at promoting Spanish in the department. Here are a few notable ones. GA delivered books and other teaching materials for the department library. With the full assistance and cooperation of the dean, the then dean of the School of Languages, now the vice chancellor, and the faculty department, GA established an annual award fund to recognize outstanding students of each graduating class who promote the study of Spanish during their career here on campus. Some members of GA have served as graduate thesis evaluators. Others served as mentors to graduates entering graduate programs in the US. GA created sessions in ICALAS. The acronym stands for International Conference on Afro-Hispanic, Luso-Brazilian, and Latin American Studies, focused solely on pedagogy and Hispanic studies in Ghana. It encouraged members to spend their sabbaticals to teach on campus. Indeed, 2 of our members had done so prior to the founding of GA, and 2 others after that. That brings the total to 4. 2 members of GA were Carnegie Diaspora Fellows. One combined his fellowship with his sabbatical, taught courses, and headed a committee comprising 2 section faculty members to review and make recommendations for the master's and PhD programs. The other reviewed and made recommendations for the Latin American Studies program. The way forward. GA continues to refine the above projects to meet the expected changing needs of the department. For instance, it is embarking on an ambitious project of providing a digital library which will make accessible free of charge to faculty and students journal articles and books, some authored by members, as well as syllabi and course notes, among other pedagogical tools. In the long term, and with a view to alleviating some of the pressures on the department, GA is committed through discussions with the department and relevant authorities to the establishment of a rotational program of teaching fellows drawn from its members, and not only during the sabbaticals, but also the summers to introduce and teach courses that may be of interest to the department, thereby making GA's presence a permanent feature of the department's educational offerings. Ladies and gentlemen, this hands-on approach stems from members' personal experiences far beyond the university. GA strongly believes that the best way we can give back to our alma mater is by harnessing the power of our connectedness to the university, which positions us to better contribute to the further enhancement of the nature and quality of education well into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of my address, I intimated that I would touch on certain key aspects of the theme of the colloquium. I'll begin by asking the following provocative, elephant in the room question. In an age of STEM here, STEM there, everywhere STEM, STEM, what have languages and the humanities got to do with anything? And by STEM, I mean science, technology, engineering, and math. Permit me to set up my answer to the question in this manner. In the US, there's a real and consequential debate raging about language education and the humanities, or liberal arts, writ large. On one side of the debate are the most strident opponents of the proposition that languages and humanities, or liberal arts, are useful to the American experience, for after all, America is a land of immigrants. On the other side are the timid, deer caught in the headlights proponents who have largely failed to make the case that there should be more of humanities education, not less or none. The politically astute opponents so far seem to be winning because they have successfully framed the issue in demagogically wrapped pseudo-unassailable economic meat and potatoes and couched in statistically digestible terms. Degrees in languages and the liberal arts are not worth the financial debt students have to take on to study them. In other words, they cannot pay the bills or put food on the table. So the argument goes, either cut these programs or squeeze them into financial oblivion. STEM courses, on the other hand, are the gateway to the highest paying jobs, even your get out of poverty free card. This argument has its greatest advocates among trustees of private colleges and universities, or regents and governors of their public counterparts. Two recent and unrelated events seem to have conspired to reinforce the argument. COVID and the demographic cliff that is projected to hit the US starting in 2025. With lower birth rates, there are fewer students going to college, resulting in low enrollment and therefore serious budget shortfalls in colleges, the effects of which are reverberating throughout academia. College closures, program cuts or elimination, faculty layoffs. The very manner gleeful college presidents had prayed for years earlier. Timid has been the defense of humanities education advocates against the onslaught from the other side. In the court of public opinion, the advocates, branded as multiculturalists, foreigners, and other such inaccurate, ignoble monikers, often walk headfirst into the trap set for them when they mount a defense based on dismantling point by point the other side's tendentious argument. But as the American popular wisdom teaches us, if you are explaining, then you're losing. The best case made at last for the humanities and language education comes, in my opinion, from a short article by Randy List, professor of English at Bridgeport University, titled Gen Z and the Humanities, that appeared in the Chronicle of Higher Education of August 30th, 2023. In it, he takes a personal measure of the debate by focusing on the group of students he called the post-COVID cohorts of Gen Z, generation. From his experience teaching this group, he believes that Gen Z may have unique reasons for being attracted to the kind of inquiry promoted by the humanities disciplines. The first reason being their commitment to social justice and investment in the discourse surrounding shifting ideas about race, gender, sexuality, and the environment. These are foundational terms and concepts that we identify with literary criticism, cultural studies, and critical theory. Other concepts like the other, intersectionality, cisgender, gender, multiculturalism, and cultural appropriation are also the purview of humanistic scholarship. Foucault, Derrida, Butler, and so on. Therefore, the issues these post-COVID Gen Z cohorts raise and reflexively talk about require analysis, interpretation, deconstruction, close reading, the kind of mission humanities are committed to. In terms of intertextual realities, Professor Lace asserts that the post-COVID cohorts are immersed in a world of representations such as serialized television dramas, to multiplayer online video games, to verbally intricate rap lyrics, to short videos on TikTok and YouTube, and other social media contents that often vie with their lived experiences. Gen Z represents what we may call global citizens, an emerging phenomenon also in otherwise monoracial countries. In the US, it is the most diverse group of incoming college students. The US is poised to become a majority country, displacing the white majority, which kind of takes some people off the wrong way. So multicultural identity is part of their self-perception, ethnic, racial, cultural, linguistic, religious, or sexual diversity is not a demographic reality for these students, but also a conceptual one, because it frames the lens through which they relate to racial problems, personal problems, social attitudes, and philosophical concerns. In short, the humanities are about human, even in a world of screens, chatbots, and neoliberal, some might say illiberal, systems of surveillance, law, and order. In a world where the lifespan of technological knowledge is ever shorter, the humanities provide a robust and enduring framework for thinking critically, communicating clearly, and in the end, shaping the future. What, in effect, the writer is advocating is a return to who we are as a discipline, and to own it rather than shy away from it or try to be what we are not. In a simpler term, the question should be, what does it mean to learn another language in the context of a liberal humanistic education? It means learning to problem solve, critical thinking, including reading critically, honing oral and written communication skills, interviewing, attention to accuracy and being precise, a better knowledge of grammar, attention to detail, cross-cultural referencing, the idea that there is not just one way to do something or think about something, enhanced concentration, better listening skills, a deeper connection to other cultures, and gain in perspective on one's own culture. It also means that people who speak more than one language also have improved memory, ability to multitask and switch between competing tasks and monitor changes in the environment more easily than monolinguals, as well as display signs of greater creativity and flexibility. If that weren't enough, as we age, being bilingual or multilingual also helps to stave off mental aging and cognitive decline. Students show that decisions made in your second language are more reason-driven than those made in your native language. Contrary to popular assumptions, when we deliberate in a second or third language, we in effect distance ourselves from the emotional responses and biases deeply associated with our mother tongue. The result are systematic and clear-headed decisions based on just the facts. Of course, I know the panel will be talking about job opportunities, either in the private sector or in the public sector, etc. So I'm not going to dwell on that, I'll skip that. But I just want to draw your attention to a few statistics, albeit dealing with the United States scenario. Number one, 9 out of 10 employers rely on employees with language skills other than English. 2, 56% say their foreign language demand will increase in the next 5 years. 3, 47% state the need for language skills exclusively for the domestic market. 4, 1 in 3 language-dependent U.S. employers report a language skills gap. 5, 1 in 4 U.S. employers lost business due to a lack of language skills. And number 6, yes, you can do anything with a degree in modern languages. So in a world where people are talking less to one another, despite digital technology, a world that sees everything in cryptic 140 characters or emojis, a world populated by avowed, self-confessed latter-day autocrats who have weaponized the advantages of technology to further self-serving ideology, pushing the global citizenry already teetering on the cultural cliff ever closer to the edge, nervous, despondent, conspiratorial. A world that sees the foreignness in its neighbors as an existential threat that must be dealt with through violence or the enactment of inhuman immigration laws. It is in this latest version of apocalypse that languages and the humanities have a crucial role to play to pull the world back from the brink. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with these nuggets of wisdom from two giants of humanistic thought and practice, albeit centuries apart: Nelson Mandela and Antonio Nebrija. Mandela is often quoted as saying, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. When we speak someone's language, we demonstrate a genuine effort to understand and connect with their culture and identity. We create a sense of validation, respect, and empathy that resonates on a deeper emotional level. The second quote is from a Renaissance grammarian, Antonio de Nebrija, and he says, if language governs thought, it is sovereign over the other sciences. Thank you for listening.
Please, let's continue clapping as he takes his seat. Thank you so much, Professor Dieudonné Afachao, for that inspiring keynote address. We are going to reflect on them, and as we move forward, we'll know that languages connect us. And I really love the quote that you said about Mandela. If you speak to a person in his language, you are definitely speaking to his heart. So let's all keep that in mind as we navigate or go through our anniversary celebrations. Okay, so we are the part where we have our standing students talk about their experiences as students, and you have been you've been asking us questions, and they are here to address those questions. And so if you are ready to hear from your recent outstanding graduates, please clap for them as I mention their names to come up here and partake in the roundtable discussion. So we have Mrs. Weber Latif from the Arabic section. If she's here, please come and take your seat up here. And we have Mr. Caleb Setoglo from the Spanish section. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And we have Ms. Abigail Quason from the Russian section. Please take your seats up here. Thank you for honoring our invitation. And we have Ms. Michelle Maridia Abu from the Chinese section. Please take your seats. And we have Ms. Esther Asantwa from the Kiswahili section. Wow. Wow, did you have a meeting? Did you have a meeting? Did you have a meeting before coming here? Wow. Okay. And we'll invite our moderator, Mr. Leonard Jojo Taylor from the Hispanic section. So before our standing graduates engage in some roundtable discussion, we'll have another performance from our students. So the Arabic section will be performing. If the performers are here, Please, we are waiting for you. Please show them some love. Please show them some love. Arabic section.
سنقوم بإلقاء قصيدة بعنوان إفريقيا للأستاذ إبراهيم معاذ المالي.
Assalamu alaikum. So we would be reciting a poetry on Africa by Ustaz Ibrahim Muaz Mali. It speaks about the beauty of Africa, its resources, and problems facing Africa, and how to solve these problems. So inshallah we start. قال الشاعر حفظه الله تعالى: إلى أرض أفريقيا أحن وأنتمي كما أن كل الحوت للماء ينتمي.
بلاد بها نيتة علي تمائمي وأول أرض ذاق طيبها فمي.
رضيتك أما شمس جوك فطنتي رياهك أنفاسي بحارك من دمي.
أيا خير أرض الله لبك تينتي نباتك من شعري جبالك أعظمي.
هي القارة الأولى تدم 53 قطرا من حديث وأقدم.
يعيش بها شتى الشعوب محاطة ب4 قارات وأبحر ألقم.
مزارع غابات وحوش معادن وكل الذي يهواه أبناء آدم.
أحبكم قومي فلاني وبنبرة وحوسا وسوننكي ونينغا وبردمي.
حمى الله أفريقيا بلادي كلما يؤذي ويضر ثم من سافك الدم.
من الحاقدين البيد ممن تآمروا علينا قديما تحت أسماء أو همي.
دعونا غزاة فطرة وتسلطوا على أهلنا سلبا ونهبا لمغنم.
على غرة جاءوا وخانوا عهودهم وعاشوا فسادا ثم ولوا ككشعم.
متى ما رأيت الفأر يركس جهرة على جلد قط فانظر الموت تسلمي.
رفضنا خطاهم ثم أخذناهم ضدهم قتالا عنيفا يخضب البيض بالدم.
من الشرق حتى الغرب يا أهل قارتي تعالوا لنسعى سعية المتحزم.
حقيق علينا أن نطهر أرضنا من الجهل والأمراض والكل مأثم.
من الفقر والأمراض واسعوا بجهدكم لنلهك إفريقيا بركم التقدم.
دعوا الحرب واسعوا للسلام وأكملوا لندرك ما نبغي بحسن التعلم.
صلاة من الرحمن يتلو سلامه على من هدانا بين عرب وأعجم.
دعوا الحرب واسعوا للسلام وأكملوا لندرك ما نبغي بحسن التعلم. شكرا جزيلا للجميع. شكرا.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Please, my name is Leonard Jojo Taylor. I will be your moderator, so I stand on all protocols observed. And with me here are fine people, ladies and a gentleman. Wow, I see the ladies are more. Ladies, clap for yourself. You've done very well. Indeed, what a man can do, women can do better. That's great to know. Right. So from my team left, please, if you don't mind, introducing yourself.
My name is Caleb Setoglu.
And from which section, please? So your
I'm
name
from
and your
the
section.
Spanish section. I did a combined major of French and Spanish.
Lovely. Thank you.
My name is Sueba Latif from the Arabic section. I did information studies in Arabic.
Hello. My name is Esther Santoa from Kiswahili section. I did political science with Kiswahili.
My name is Abigail Quason from the Russian section. I read political science and the Russian language.
I am Michelle Maridia Abu from the Chinese section. I read Chinese and public administration.
Amazing, amazing names and amazing people. You know, these people have proven upon all us that you can do what it takes to stand on top. And they proved, and they did that. Right, so the students were given the opportunity to ask questions through the Google form. Thousands of questions flew in. They wanted to know what got you people here to the top. But we took a few, so I'm going to just jump right in. The first question from the few we sampled was, how can you manage your time wisely in order to achieve academic excellence? This question goes to you, Caleb.
All right. Talking about time management, I always say that time is a resource and it ought to be managed. And so time is just like money. When you have, for example, 1,000 Ghana cedis to be spent within a space of 1 month, you prioritize your needs. You tell yourself, well, I'm going to spend 400 cedis on food. I need some books also, 200 cedis. I need to put something aside for transports as well. That is what time is. A day is made up of 24 hours. And it starts counting from midnight while you are still sleeping. And so you manage it. You look at all that you have to do during the day. Have the habit of waking up very, very early. Around 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm awake while I was a student at the University of Ghana here. By 5 o'clock, I'm well dressed. I'll finish with my morning devotion and I'm gone to the reading room to start learning. And so from 5 o'clock to 6:30, I finish studying for the first part of the day. And so I start preparing to head towards lectures, which is, I normally go for my lectures in the morning, 7:30. After 7:30, lectures which close at 9:30. I'll go to the library and do some readings and probably go to the second lecture of the day in the afternoon. And so that is how I manage my time. I prioritize my needs. Beautiful. And then make sure that I apportion the 24-hour to everything that I need to do.
Beautiful. Please give him a round of applause. He said time is money and how you manage it is how you spend it. All right. So the next question, Esther, this is yours, right? It says, what was your biggest academic challenge and how did you overcome it?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think mine was following friends to choose a course. Yes, some of us will follow our friends to choose a course because probably we want to go to lectures together. But please, know which course you are able to do. Don't just choose a course because your friends are doing it. Because I chose a course and I realized I wasn't really getting it. So I had to drop it. I had to fall out of the group and drop it so that I can go and choose what I think I'm comfortable with. So that was my challenge, and by God's grace, I was able to overcome it. So I would advise them, choose a course you can do. Don't follow friends. Thank you.
Beautiful. She said don't follow friends, but follow who knows road. So consult, then find your course you need to do. It's as simple as that, right? Latifa. Sorry, is it Latifa? Latif, right, sorry. This question is actually yours. It says, what is the best way to learn and excel in Arabic? This one is particularly for Arabic.
Okay, the first way I would say is to have the right intention.
Sorry, excuse me. You could go closer. Yeah.
Is to have the right intention. Most people were given Arabic language without choosing it, so they just started studying it. They didn't have the right intention. But some of us who chose it, we knew what we wanted from the course, and we learned it. The second thing I would say is you have to learn outside class. That's one thing about language. We are not only studying Arabic in the University of Ghana, you are doing it with other course. You are supposed to give the other course importance too. So you have to learn outside class through YouTube videos and be following your lecturers and the TAs. And you plan, so if your intention to study Arabic is to gain, like to be a translator, you would have to spend more time with works, translating it, following your lecturers, following your TAs, and be speaking with your colleagues. Even if they don't mind you, just be speaking with them. And also be speaking with your TAs and your lecturers. The lecturers will respond to you, the TAs will respond to you, but your colleagues will be like, oh, you are too new. They say only Arabic. But if you do that, you will get it. I know one particular TA. Now, you used to speak Arabic even when you don't like it. And now you can speak Arabic fluently. So that's what you can do.
Amazing. I think this is Thank you very much, Latif. Going to the same question, but for the Russians, and I think it applies to all. But what do you think? What is the best way to learn and excel in Russian or in a particular language? Goes to you.
Thank you for the question. Okay, so I would say learning is supposed to be fun. So learning a language, you have to make it fun. Then you look at what ways work for you. Is it movies? Is it a song? You talk to people, ask them what they are also doing, what's working for them, and then try to incorporate it. If it doesn't work, you move on to something else. Let's say you are in a car going home or you are doing something. You just pick your phone, you open a song, you listen, you watch something. So what I usually did was when I plan my time, I'm scheduling my timetable, and then I was doing political science, which I was having quite difficulties. But then I would make sure to put the Russian there as break. So as I'm breaking from the political science, I'm learning Russian, but in a fun way. So I watch a movie, I listen to a song. So that's how you do it. So find what works for you and then make it work.
Find what works for you. Amazing, amazing. Abigail, please stick back the mic. This one is for you again. It says, with much effort and perseverance, can your GPA rise from a pass to first class? Wow, what a jump. So yes, if you don't mind.
All right. This is an interesting question. Can your GPA rise from pass to first class? So to answer this, I would want to know which level the person is in. If you're in level 100, it means there is more room for improvement. If you're in 200, it's possible. Well, if you're in 300, well...
Should I say it? There's no hope.
Oh, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Just put in your best. Like, just do it. If that's what you want, like my brother Caleb said, you set your goal. So if that's your goal, then it means you're going to put in much effort. And I'm sure you can make it.
Okay, she says there is hope. So you need to put in the effort. Straight A's are possible. So level 300, even level 400, last semester, straight A's, you can jump from that pass to the first class. All right, so moving on. Michelle, I've not forgotten about you. I've not forgotten about you at all. So this question is for Michelle. They said, how were you able to navigate academic life with personal issues? Personal issues, so not personal life, personal issues.
Wow, such an interesting question. So with this, I think it's mainly about identifying the type of person you are and learning how to move your life along the type of person you are. So navigating my academic life with personal issues, isn't it too broad? Navigating my academic life with personal issues, what I did was to structure my life in such a way that, just as Caleb said earlier, I had a time for everything. So there was a time allocated to handling family issues, checking what is happening with the family, making sure everything is right from that end. There was also a time allocated. So one thing about me is when I was on campus, I was really all around. I was seen everywhere. So there was a time I had time allocated for that, and I had time allocated for learning. I know during my graduation, most people were surprised at my graduation class because they hardly saw me learning. During the day, I would use the time, aside lectures, I would use some of my time to partake in extracurricular activities because I identify that as a person, I learn best when I listen, so I don't miss lectures.
Beautiful.
Because if I don't hear what the lecturer says, that's the end for me.
Wow, okay.
So I use my time majorly in class during lectures, and after I use the other time for extracurricular activities. I also have time allocated for sorting out family issues, just as I said, dealing with personal stuffs, and also because I knew I was learning a language which could not be treated the same way I was treating my public administration course. Majority, about 60% of my time was for Chinese. It's either I'm attending a Chinese program, or I'm registering for a Chinese course online, or I'm at CI Confucius Institute partaking in their activities. I did all this not because, should I say, I loved learning, but because I was studying a language, and language is best learned when you surround yourself with a language and its, should I say, its culture. So you will never find me sitting in a shuttle and just watching people around. Oh, I'm a language student. I should have my podcast on. I should be listening to something Chinese. I should be listening to a Chinese song. I should be listening to Chinese news. I can't just be idle.
Yeah.
No, that is not something a language student
Thank
should
you
do.
very much, Michelle. Thank you very much. Back to Mrs. Saiba Latif. This question says, how does Arabic language shape our thoughts? That's what it says.
Okay. Arabic language is a language with lots of rules that you have to follow. So the first thing I'll say, Arabic language helps you to focus on details. You would pay attention to the ending of words, the vowels on the words. I think when I studied Arabic in the university, I started paying attention to minute details, even in tests, not Arabic related.
Okay.
That's the first thing. And second thing is that Arabic language has lots of vocabularies. You can have words with one word, like a little changes means something different. So it makes you, like, it's still on the side of looking at things into details. That is the first way, that is the best way Arabic language shapes your thoughts. And also, Arabic language makes you admire and appreciate the Islamic culture, because most people, like most of the countries who speak Arabic, are Islamic countries. So it's also shaped your thoughts by appreciating other people's religion. And I saw that with our Christian friends in the Arabic department. Coming to Arabic, studying Arabic, they began to appreciate certain things the Muslim did. And it was all good.
Beautiful, beautiful. All too soon, we have to end here. But I think that, personally, what I've learned from all this is that language really helps you think differently. We can all speak English one way or another, but imagine thinking in Spanish, thinking in Arabic, thinking whatever language that you are learning, it helps you in multiple ways. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your moderator. Leonard Jojo Taylor is my name. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our astounding students, recent alumni. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we have a performance from the Spanish section. Please, where are you? Spanish section. Where are you? Yes, please, keep clapping, keep clapping. ¿Dónde están? Okay. So as we always the performance from the Spanish section, we would like to acknowledge the presence of His Excellency Alex Zeleniko from the Russian Embassy. Please let's acknowledge with a clap offering. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
respiro se me corta la respiración. Cuando tú me miras se me sube el corazón, me palpita lento el corazón. Y en un silencio tu mirada dice mil palabras.
In the spirit of the theme of nuestro aniversario, celebrando 60 years of global engagement, language learning, and cultural understanding, we are taking you on un viaje of exploring the cultural similarities entre el mundo ganés y el mundo hispano. On un viaje de danza. Paying homage to el flamenco de España. We lift off from las costas de Ghana, Africa. Indeed, through the streets of Colombia to nuestro destino de Perú. Les presentamos a ustedes el mapale y el festejo.
She was 14, I was 15. Me and Habibi had some big dreams, but we got lost up in the city. Oh, do you think about me? We used to sneak up in them big ways. You used to wind up on me this way, that way, this way, that way. You just wanted to be in my arms, yeah. She said tonight, 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 I don't wanna see no daylights now. You don't wanna see no daylights now. Everything is too okay right now. Yeah, yeah. Tonight, tonight.
for that wonderful performance. Now, we have gotten to where we are going to listen to professionals who are our alumni to tell us their story in the professional world and what language has done for them. But before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Muhammad Al-Alaji. Sorry if I don't pronounce it well because it's written in English. He is the officer responsible for cultural affairs of the Royal Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Can you give him applause? I think even without standing up is apparent from his attire. Second is Sheikh Yahya Tuntumba, also from the from the Embassy of the Saudi Arabia. He is the personal assistant to His Excellency, the Ambassador. Can you give him a round of applause? We thank you so much for coming. Shukran lakum. Now, we are going to begin with the Arabic section. And we have with us Mr. Idrisu Al-Hassan Idrisu to come and share with us his experience. I have the honor to invite him to the podium. فليتفضل مشكورا.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests. Let me start by, I just had the introduction of Saudi Embassy. حيوك بتحية من عند الله مباركة. تحية التي إذا حييتم بها فحيوا بأحسن منها أردوها. تحية أولها البركة ووسطها الرحمة وآخرها المغفرة. أقول السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. My name is Idris Al-Hassan Idris. I am a banker. I gained admission into University of Ghana the year 2000 and completed 2003 Arabic session. I've been given only 10 minutes. 10 minutes for the subject given to me is inadequate. But when I listened at the interaction here, they made mention about time, importance of time. And time across all the religious faiths, they pay much in essence of the importance of time. Quran chapter 112 have a full chapter dedicated to time, where Allah himself swear, I swear by the time. Man is in a state of loss if he doesn't respect time. So I'll try as much possible to see how best, within the 10 minutes, what I can do justice to the time allotted to me. Well, how did I begin my career? I graduated 2003, Arabic language. The same year, before even national service, I had employment with Standard Chartered Bank. We went through interview, about 150, with students from University of Ghana Business School, BCom, and the rest of business faculties. Question that was running through my mind, whether I'll be able to make it with Arabic. Then, when the panel looked at my CV and realized I had Arabic, they said, wow, we've been looking for someone to interpret some of the KYC. You know, when you want to open an account, sometimes you provide a utility bill. So if the utility bill is in Arabic, we don't have anybody in the department who can translate it into Arabic. Are you sure you really did Arabic? I said yes. My interview was exceptional. 7 people were looking. At the end of the day, I was number 1, just because of Arabic as a language. There is no way you can do without Arabic. When even look at our business sector, move to Spintex route, move to other part of the country, it is Lebanese who control the business, who control our economy. And language is very, very key. Let me share this experience. At a point in time, I wanted to do a business with a Lebanese. When I walked in there, they started speaking Arabic that, look, we have number of accounts with other banks. We don't even need this in Arabic. And there is an adage in Arabic that says that, Man ta'allama lughatil qawm amina min sharrihim. If you understand people's language, you succeeded whatever they went to harm you. So I laugh. So when I started my interaction with them in Arabic, the man was shocked. He was surprised. He asked, where did you learn Arabic? I mentioned University of Ghana. And that was the success of gaining that business that particular day. There is no way that I move with Arabic as a language in this country without succeeding gaining the business. There is no way, especially if the people speak Arabic as a language, because they are more comfortable dealing with you. I handle all Islamic NGOs across the country, basically because of Arabic language, and it has made me a star. Because they have chief funds that sits in their books for them to use for projects that they are embarking in the country. I happen to meet a number of people who have studied Arabic language in this institute, and I was wondering, how did you find yourself here? Recently, I met a lady called Gloria. She worked with SD Properties as the HR. SD Properties is a very big, a giant company at Spintex Road. She said she graduated here in 2012. I said, how did you got employment here? She said Arabic as a language, because the man is Lebanese, and she wanted someone who can speak Arabic. And that actually paved way for her to get the employment over there. Also, if Arabic is important, this is even the right time, because there is no way, if you're familiar with something we call KYC in banking industry, know your customer. If you want to open an account, they need to KYC you. KYC here means they need to know the customer and know the customer very well. You know the residence of the customer. The number of investors who are moving into the country, most of them are Lebanese. As I mentioned earlier, you can't just do without them. They control the economy. The likes of Japan Motors, brother Kalmoni, the likes of Silver Star, brother Nuhad, and the rest, they control the economy, and you can't do away with them. They walk into the country with the utility bill that bears their country of residence, which is written in Arabic. Initially, we used to depend Arabic language department for translation and Institute of Languages. If you have Arabic language as your background, believe it or not, you'll be given exception and you'll be picked than any other course when it comes to KYC. For lack of time, as I mentioned earlier, time will not permit me to say much about the important and what personally have gained from Arabic. Thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless you.
Please do more, do more. Mr. Idris has always been our supporter. Now, we have gotten to where we listen from the Chinese section. And we have Mr. Muhammad Iklilu to share with us
Your Excellencies, ambassadors of foreign missions in Ghana and their staff, Dean of the School of Languages, Professor Jahine Kwashi, heads of departments present, not forgetting Mr. Chair, our keynote speaker, faculty present, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly an honor to stand before you today as we commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Department of Modern Languages. As an alumnus of this esteemed institution, my journey through the study of Chinese language, my experiences working in various companies, and my current role as a Chinese language teacher at the University of Ghana has profoundly shaped my career and growth. My Chinese journey can be described with a Chinese saying, Wu xin cha liu, liu jiang yin. I repeat again, Wu xin cha liu, liu jiang yin. To wit, an unintentional action can lead to unintended but beneficial outcomes. Actually, I did not choose Chinese. And in fact, I didn't even know Chinese was studied in the University of Ghana. My intention was to study geography or English. But fortunately or unfortunately, I was offered Chinese, geography, and sociology. So the plan was that at level 400, or after level 100, I would just drop the Chinese and then continue with my geography to level 400. But as fate will have it, I was lucky to have come across a townsman who was already a level 400 student majoring in Chinese and info studies. So he inspired me to continue to study the Chinese language. And with time, by level 200, I had fallen in love with the language. So after graduation, I did my national service at the section as a teaching assistant. And then from national service, I joined various Chinese companies working as a translator, interpreter, and sometimes human resource. I have never studied human resource, but I had to do it. For 4 years, I was working with 2 Chinese companies. And that has really given me much insight into cross-cultural communication. And especially in our modern world, where we have a lot of cultures interacting with one another. Now, as a Chinese language teacher at the Chinese section and at the Confucius Institute, I am privileged to share my passion for the language and culture with the next generation of students. It is a role that I approach with responsibility and enthusiasm, knowing that I have the opportunity to not only impart linguistic skills, but also to cultivate a deeper appreciation for cultural diversity and global citizenship. And passion is a fuel that powers foreign language study. Yesterday, those of us who attended the career day, there was a lot of discussions on passion. And one thing I picked up was that it is never too late to cultivate a passion for anything. There are colleagues at the beginning of our Chinese language study journey who didn't have the passion for the language, including myself, as I mentioned earlier. But with time and with dedication, we began to develop passion for it. Studying Chinese language opened doors and a lot of world opportunities and experiences I have never imagined. From language immersion programs in China to working with Chinese companies and now as a Chinese language teacher. And in fact, I have done interpretations at the Ghana High Court in Chinese. This morning, my phone rang around 3:50 something a.m. I didn't pick. In the morning, around 5:30, when I just returned from Subhi prayers, another call, 3 calls came, the same number. So finally I returned, and it was a clerk of the High Court that they have a Chinese case this morning and they needed an interpreter. So they said I should come and do it. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, so I recommended a friend. So these are some of the opportunities you gain when you especially like Chinese. But it never comes easy, and for all us, we all know Chinese language is perhaps the most difficult language to study on earth. Because of its unique nature, we use characters. We write, but we don't draw. So it's not easy studying Chinese language. But with dedication, you will be able to make it. One thing I did, and that helped me in the study of the Chinese language, was one, and I always tell my students, I do not go to the library or the reading room to study Chinese. I study it in my room or outside on the lava benches because it is a language. So you have to mention, you have to read aloud, let people hear, let yourself hear what you are saying. You do not read it silently. And on the characters, what I used to do is that when I'm going to study, let's say geography, I carry my Chinese book along. If I'm feeling sleepy, then I use the characters as, I write characters to prevent me from sleeping. That's what I used to do. So, as we celebrate 60 years of excellence in the Department of Modern Languages, let us reaffirm our commitment to fostering intercultural understanding, promoting language proficiency, and preparing students to thrive in an increasingly interconnected world. Together, let us continue to inspire future generations and embrace beauty and richness of language and culture. Share. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ikililu also deserves more. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikililu. Now it is the turn of the Kiswahili section. I am happy to invite Mr. Shadrach Mensah from the Kiswahili section.
Hamjambo mabibi na mabwana. If I have to go through the protocol list, 3 minutes of my time will be gone. So I'll resort to the popular cliché, all protocols observed. I feel so honored today to share my experiences with you about the importance of the Kiswahili language. Lugha ambayo naipenda sana. Please forgive me. I'll be speaking more Swahili than English. I'm sorry about that. But let me salute my lecturers. I see them here. Prof. Jahini Kwashi. Thank you so much. Prof. Adika, thank you so much. Indeed, it's a great day. 60 decades of nurturing linguistic proficiency. Wow. I started Swahili here in the University of Ghana. When I got my admission in 1999, I was offered Kiswahili, linguistics, and history. I saw my admission letter. I said, what is Swahili? What am I going to do with this? When I came here, because I wasn't self-motivated, so the zeal to study the language wasn't there. But one lecturer, the late Dr. Mensah, called me one day to his office and said, look, young man, you can do this. Do well. At least if you don't want to do anything with the language, get your A's, and you can go and burn your Swahili books. That message sank into me deeply. So I began to sit up. I finished my first degree in 2003 and continued with my master's MPhil in linguistics, and I completed in 2005. One day I was staying at Aido Flat, one of the boys' quarters, and then Dr. Adika came and told me that, you see, there's a vacancy at the SOS College, so take this number and call. By then, I had taught 1 year here. I went there, and then they asked me, I went to meet one Kenyan teacher. We had a conversation. I said, wow, you speak Swahili so good. Okay, start the next day. I just started the next day, no interview, nothing. And you see, if you possess a language, you possess a soul. I have become a better thinker with a language. I have gotten opportunity to sit in so many interview panels, not because I was the intelligent person, but because I had a language background. Language gives you access to cultural appreciation. I was in SOS one day. We had a visitor from Howard University, United States of America. So we met the staff, and one of them happened to be from East Africa. He was white, but he was born there. So we had an interaction. I said, did you learn Swahili here? I said, yes. Oh, I see. You know what? I am going to invite you to US to be a visiting lecturer for 3 months. Wow. So, somewhere 2008, I was in Howard University in the United States as a visiting lecturer, teaching Swahili. I didn't know that this opportunity would come my way. When I was here, I know that it's still, this question still comes out. What are you going to do with Swahili? Does it still come? Yes. Very good. So when you listen to people, if we are looking at the immediate benefit of learning Swahili language, you might not see. But I tell you, if I tell you what the language has taken me, now I am the head of department in the college. If you have heard SOS College, it's one of the best IB schools in Africa. And so I get opportunity to travel a lot, not because I am the only intelligent person, but I have the language background. Jamani bwana. Okay. So I want to encourage you. Don't see the immediate benefit of the language, but one day, the opportunity will just strike and you will hit it hard. One day, it will come. It is knowledge for knowledge's sake. But do not underrate the language at all. There's something in the Swahili language. My time is up. I wish I could have more time to talk more about it, but I will end here. I'll be around, so if you want to see me, we can talk more. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. He deserves more. Mr. Shadrach, we thank you so much. Now we are going back to our performances, and our judges are alert as I call students from the Russian section to give us their performance.
на всю, и соседи не спят, кто под нами внизу, вы простите меня, а потом о любви говорит до утра. Это юность моя, это юность моя. Звук поставим на всю, и соседи не спят, кто под нами внизу, вы простите меня, а потом о любви говорит до утра. Это юность моя, это юность моя.
Если хотите почитать на е, я тебе руку буду добивать, пока ты ко мне, пока ты добиваешь, да как ты гурбой стой на один, есть мне море рыбаскрим. Мы с работой спим, потому скоро спит, я знаю одну, на тебе молитвы.
Просто душай, не грустить и улыбнись, никогда не забывай, и еще почаще снись. Буду новой встречи ждать, и скучать за блеском глаз, буду все новое. Кто под нами внизу, вы простите меня, а потом о любви говорит до утра. Это юность моя, это юность моя. Звук поставим на всю, и соседи не спят, кто под нами внизу, вы простите меня, а потом о любви говорит до утра. Кто под нами внизу, вы простите меня, а потом о любви говорит до утра. Это юность моя, это юность моя.
Всем желаем хорошего настроения, радости каждый день, вне зависимости от любой ситуации.
Зимою хочется лето, а жарким летом сладок лед зимой. Ждет одинокий пламя рассвета, вдвоем уютно под покровом тьмы.
Судьба тебя ласкает вновь. И вместе с нами радуйся, звездному небу радуйся, теплому небу радуйся. Тебе стучится в дом любовь, тебе стучится в дом любовь.
Ty za to lubisz Iwana, ja za to lubię Iwana, что головушка кудрява. Я за то lubisz Iwana, что головушка кудрява, что головушка кудрява, а бородушка кучерява.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we have to hear from the Russian section. But before that, I am happy to announce that the delegation from the Royal Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is seeking permission to leave for some reasons. They express their thanks for us inviting them, and they wish us well. We also thank you so much. Shukran lakum. We look forward to seeing you more in our programs. Jazakumullah khairan. Shukran lakum. Now, we call from the Russian section Dr. Ansar Koba to give us his experience, or her experience, sorry.
Professor Chair of this event, I also would like to acknowledge all the protocols observed. Good morning. Dobry utro. I'm so glad to be here today because being here also connects me to my beginnings or to the foundation of my academic pursuit, and I'm so grateful. Now, I think my experience will be the experience of most of us. I entered the University of Ghana in 1997. I chose law. But when I got my admission letter, it was English, Russian, and religions. For English and religions, I had heard of them. But for the Russian, it was a bit new to me. So I said that, okay, then I'll go and try to change it. And you know, the moment we make our minds that we will do that, we do not attend lectures well. So after 2 weeks, I met a senior colleague, and we discussed this. And then he said, instead of you trying to change it, why don't you accept this? And the unknown area, go into it. Maybe it has some attraction for you. So based on that advice, I started attending my Russian lectures. So the first 3 weeks of lectures, Eta mama, eta papa, I said this is very good. I'll learn this language. So after the first semester, second semester, I began to excel. I was getting excellent grades in my Russian language. So going to level 200, now I decided to drop religions and take Russian and English language. So I combined them till I finished. And it shaped, the language shaped my thoughts and the way I did my things. I also began to feel that I wasn't like doing what everybody does or all people are doing. I'm doing something that is unique, that you don't easily find in my society. And I began to share this experience. Then the year abroad came. It was my first time of traveling outside the country. So through the Russian language studies, I got the opportunity to also have an international experience, knowing different people. And this shaped my thoughts. I began to think of what I'd like to do after my first degree. The literature studies also opened me to a lot of reasoning, thinking, analysis, doing all this. I'm a scholar also in Lesia. So I just connected to that. And we were many that went for the interview at Lesia, but I was chosen to be among them. And after the first year, out of 8 people chosen to do their MPhil, I was one of them. So I was able to do my MPhil also at Lesia. Then now moving to the world of work, there was no limitation at all because maybe I read language. No, there was no limitation. From last year, I started looking at gender and international politics. I started looking at women's issues, societal issues. So I got a job easily, and I began to excel in my job. Then I decided to change jobs. I entered Regent University as a public affairs manager. You know, the language background prepares you for public relations and all that. Then, within 4 or 5 years, I had risen through the ranks and I was the registrar, the youngest registrar and the first female registrar of the university. And I think this was much largely to the training, literature, language, exposure to other people. You become all-round as a person. So I worked in that. By that also, I was also doing volunteer work in the development sector. And also that one, I also gained a lot. Then after a while, I said that I would like to do a PhD. So you see, you don't think that your life will stop because you are doing Russian language or you are off medicine, studying law, studying admin. It's also open to you. All depends on your attitude towards and how much you want to invest in your life, developing, you know, yourself. So I decided to do my PhD, and I took my PhD program with the University of Sheffield in the UK. And I'm glad to tell you that the journey was smooth. I had become an all-round person. My exposure right from the University of Ghana, doing my year abroad and all that, had prepared me to be able to relate to everybody or all people from every walk of life. So studying in the UK was not a problem. I could relate to people, many people from different places. Your lecturers, your supervisor, other students come from different places. But I was able to relate to them. The discipline of learning language, because you know when you are learning language, you cannot take it off and go and come at any time. You are always on it, ensuring that you are able to focus on that. And that discipline, I carried it throughout. And I was able to finish my PhD in sociological studies. So this morning, we are here to share this experience with you and tell you that there is no limitation at all to what you can become. You can become a professor, you can become anything that you want to be. And all depends on how much you would like to invest in. The Russian language or any other language you are studying has in it all the necessary ingredients to make you versatile and put you in every sphere of life for you to be able to fulfill your own goals in life. And more importantly, also to affect society. So now I work as the director of programs for future generations. It's an NGO. And we are working in the area of women, children, looking at health and also economics. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I wish you well.
Thank you to Dr. Deserves More. Now we call Mr. Benjamin Akakpo from the Spanish section. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Well, I heard one of our speakers talk about time, so I brought my own timer. So there we go, started. A very good morning to all of you, and especially to you, the students. You are stars already because you have a language or two. So clap for yourselves. We know the theme for today as we celebrate our 60th anniversary as the Department of Modern Languages. I read Spanish and French here. So I speak a little German. I have my A1 in German. I've spent some time in Brazil, and I see the Brazilian contingent. I was in Mossoró for about 5 months, so I speak a bit of Portuguese as well. French and Spanish are my mainstays, however. I would like to thank my department for inviting me, first of all, the chairperson, and all of those who have helped us get to this point. I'll start with a quote. It's from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and he says, "He who knows no foreign languages knows nothing of his own." He who knows no foreign languages knows nothing of his own. I don't need to belabor the point and say that we live in a globalized world, a global village. And what you do here can impact people many thousands of kilometers away. But how do we stay interconnected? Languages, whether computer language or the languages that we speak in the modern languages department. Though we're talking about these, I would also like to just quickly move away and remind us that we should learn our local languages. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but Handa, for example. Do we have any Handas here? Nobody? You are here. I just speak it up. Handa is a language that is very extinct. Some would even say for some research work that Kabande is also on the verge of that, maybe to a lesser point. Languages are crucial to our changes in life. I'm going to share some examples with you about how it has impacted my life and how it has made me the person I am today. I got to do my national service at Ghana Institute of Languages because of Spanish. Now, I had left, at least those of you who have, getting placements can be hell. I've studied. And I made some wonderful friends there, some of whom are working in different parts of the world today. In terms of the experience, 4 years through these walls, I benefited from the scholarship program. I went to Cuba. That was a fantastic experience, a completely different world. I don't know what it is like now, but one thing I'll never forget, the experience of riding in those antique vehicles. You see them on TV, right? Vehicles from the 1950s and 60s, still running in Cuba, in La Habana, in Cienfuegos, and in different places. It's an experience some of you should get if you have the money. Oh, and I found out the only country I know that has two currencies running concurrently, the Cook and the Peso Nacional. And this is what language does to you. It aids you segue, enter different climates, and you are still at ease. It opens doors of opportunity to you. Which brings me to my second quote. It's by Ludwig Wittgenstein, and I'm being Germany biased today for a reason. It says, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." As far as you are limited linguistically, your world is also limited. If you go somewhere and you can't communicate, those people find it a bit difficult to interact with you. I'll tell you a little story. For those of you still studying in this community, I have a friend, now Dr. Emmanuel Chao. He lectures, I think, in the King Rabat II University in Morocco. He's a lecturer of economics, but guess what? While we were here, I was reading both French and Spanish. He was in my French class, but he was also in my Spanish class. Only for us to find out after the first year that he actually never should have been in my Spanish class. Guess what this gentleman had been doing? He had been perching. You are familiar with perching, right? He had been perching in Spanish class, and he was one of the best students in Spanish class. He had infiltrated the system, and he had added to his French Spanish. And he's using it. He's even added some German, because his wife is German. Now, all of this means that we have great opportunities. I have told a lot of my friends, those I interact with, that if I were in any position of power in this country, and I use my medium to espouse it, I would ensure that everybody in this country learned at least one other language, international language, apart from English. I remember this incident in Casablanca. Actually, when I was returning from Brazil, I transited through Casablanca. And my colleagues, who spoke no French, were being sort of heckled here and there. Okay, I thought I had 10 minutes, but it appears I have less than 10 minutes. We're being heckled here and there, and it took my intervention. There was this young black American lady. She couldn't have been more than 16, 17. She was totally at sea. It took my speaking with the authorities for her to be able to get her passage through, because she was simply connecting to another part of the world. I'll also share the story of meeting this Brazilian man at the Accra Mall some years back. This was when the Kwame Nkrumah interchange was still being built. How did I know he was Brazilian? I went to the Pizza Hut when it was still at the Accra Mall, and I was waiting for my pizza. Then I saw this man agitated, and it was obvious he couldn't speak the English well. Then I saw on his polo neck shirt, Queiroz Galvao. They were the contractors for the interchange. So I knew immediately that he was Brazilian. And I tapped him and I said, "Oi, boa tarde." And that is where everything started. The look on his face to be able to communicate with someone in his native language, like Prof said, it was amazing. We were able to rectify the matter, and I left. But the joy of being able to reach him, touch his heart, because I spoke his language, that is the beauty of language. And that is the gift you carry if you are able to continue, not just in the classrooms and studying to pass exams, but using the language for great things. As I get ready to wind down, I'll just tell you this. Languages are life skills. They are not just to be learned. I know colleagues who today, if you spoke anything to them, they would back away. It's a life skill. Don't let that language go waste. Use it. Artificial intelligence is stealing jobs. But if you do well with your language that you speak, it can take you very far in terms of employment opportunities. Let us move forward hand in hand, as we'll say in Spanish, mano a mano, and ensure that we make the most of this gift of language. I'll end with this quote by Frank Smith as I get ready to wind down. He says, "One language sets you in a corridor for life. 2 languages open every door along the way." I will repeat that for effect. 1 language sets you in a corridor for life. 2 languages open every door along the way. And again, like we would say in Espanol, in Spanish, sin prisas pero sin pausas. Without being in a hurry, but also without pause. In English, you could put it, slow and steady wins the race. And believe you me, in my professional experience, I was surprised one day when I was called off the cuff to go to the Best Western Hotel to do some interpretation work in Spanish. Never before, unprepared. I've done translation work, French and Spanish, and there are places I go to and merely speaking one of these languages opens a door for me. So it's a great opportunity you have, especially out there, especially in a place like Ghana. Do you know the unemployment rate now? Do you know? We're knocking at 15%, and those are the official records. Let's not talk of the unofficial ones. Language will get you there. And so I encourage all of you to take them seriously. I would also like to end by saluting the department, lecturers, and other staff, the Trans Bureau, and all of those. I see Senora Sunka sitting there, Dr. Boampong, Professor Lomote, and all of them. All these people have been my lecturers at some point, so I'm speaking to my lecturers. To all of you, thank you for leading the way, and thank you for making it possible for some of us to be here. I would say, feliz cumpleaños al departamento, joyeux anniversaire au département. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Mr. Benjamin deserves more. Now let's get ready to our next performance. But before that, the Department of Modern Languages says to Mr. Idrisu Shukran, Mr. Iklilu Shishen, Mr. Shadrach Asantisana, Dr. Ansa Koba Spasiba, and Mr. Benjamin Gracias. Now we invite students from the Chinese section to give us their performance.
有一种绝活，寄生就活脱脱一副面孔，色娃娃一丝真藏。剧中的变
Performance. I'm happy I'm not one of the judges. I'm happy I'm not one of the judges right now because I wouldn't know what to do at this point. So there are performances and there are performances. And so it's time to find out who our winner is. If you are ready, shout! So let's wait for our judges as they collate their marks. Yes. Who is going to win? Will it be the Spanish section?
Will it be the Kiswahili section? Hey.
Invite the chairman to give his concluding remarks as they are putting together. So we beat time from the chairman.
Okay. Please be patient. The judges are collating their results. In the meantime, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Thank you. In the meantime, we would like to invite the chairperson for him to give us his concluding remarks. Please, let's appreciate our chairperson, Professor Gordon Adika. Let's keep appreciating him as he walks to the podium. Thank you.
I think I'll never forget today. It's a memorable day. Interacting with the Gen Z generation. Right, I would like to stand on the existing protocols to give my closing remarks. Even before the judges announce the winner, I think I would like to congratulate all the competitors. You've done well. I'll make comments on the keynote address last. I think I would like to start with takeaways from the roundtable discussions. Some of the questions the panelists were asked include management of time, biggest academic challenge, how to navigate your academic life and personal issues, and how Arabic shapes the learner's thoughts. But there was one thing that was significantly left out. How do you manage your love affairs? Think about it. Because it's a powerful distraction. And I'm saying this because I suffered the same fate. It's personal, I don't mind. When I was in the first year, when I fell in love with a student reading Spanish. I was about 19, 20 years old, and I didn't know how to manage it. In those days, we went on, it was term-based, so first term, second term. I will not tell you the details. The relationship lasted for 2 terms. By third term, it was over. And I nearly failed my first year examination. But thank God, when I returned to BA Part 1, second year, I took a firm decision not to fall in love. And you know what? It allowed me to create space for my studies. And I had a first class in English and linguistics. So please, you can fall in love, but manage the time properly. Right, so for the current cohort of students, the responses of the panelists should constitute points of reference for you and the examples for you to emulate. With respect to sort of handling effective time management and also developing strategies for learning the foreign language effectively, I thought of the expression positive aggression, and it emerged from what one of the panelists said, that you need to be aggressive in creating and pursuing opportunities for you to practice and consolidate your skills in the foreign language. And I would like to encourage you to do just that, So pursue opportunities for practice and take advantage of them. With respect to contributions by professional alumni, they emphasized the value of foreign languages in getting jobs and opportunities they offer for working with businesses controlled by foreign nationals. I thought that was very insightful. They also emphasized that through foreign languages, you can provide support to the judicial systems. There are also opportunities for you to teach either in secondary schools or at the tertiary level. And as for Mr. Kapo's contributions, I hope that you remember the essence of it. Keep it in mind. It sums up most of the things that we've been talking about today. Now I'd like to move on to the keynote speaker, Professor Diodone Afachao. Of course, he told us about the contributions of GHA to supporting scholarship in the University of Ghana through their projects, and I think that we need to give him a hand for that. Please, let's clap for him. On the core issue related to the theme of this colloquium, he bemoaned the status of liberal arts or humanities courses in the context of the competitive world of educational financing, where STEM courses are privileged to the neglect of humanities and language courses, and he thinks that this must change. The speaker also highlighted the value of Gen Z culture, interests, and perspectives in promoting multicultural identity and providing evidence that humanities constitute an integral part of how we define or construct ourselves and how we interact with diverse social and cultural groups. He also emphasized the value of foreign language education. The first point he raised in relation to that was that an additional language facilitates job acquisition and job sustainability despite advances in technology. He also made a point that language competence promotes global citizenship by enabling individuals to engage with different cultures and perspectives. In sum, Professor Diodone Afachao advocates the intentional promotion of foreign language education if we are to respond positively to the Gen Z drive, promote global citizenship, and foster human interconnectedness in our increasingly globalized world. I would like to thank the Colloquium Planning Committee, led by Professor Benedicta Lomote, for putting together such a fantastic program. Let's give them a hand. I hope that 60 years from now, we can have a repeat of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Gordon Adika, for your concluding remarks. Before we go to the results, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency Luisa Maria, Chargée d'Affaires, Embassy of Brazil. Please, let's appreciate her. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And also, we have Mr. Marcelo Mayo Colho. I'm so sorry if I didn't pronounce your name well. He's also a Portuguese teacher at the Embassy of Brazil. Thank you so much for coming, for participating in our event. Thank you. Wow, Obiniye. Okay. Like I said earlier, there are performances and there are performances.
It's time to know. It's time to know which section has the bragging rights. Okay, so first and foremost, we are all winners. We are all winners. You know. Okay, so I'm going to start okay, so the 5th position goes to Arabic section. Before I proceed, please, let's appreciate the judges for helping us. Let's appreciate them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the 4th position goes to the Chinese section. Okay, so I would say the criteria as well so that you know how they were evaluated. Costume, movement.
We wanted to call them.
It's fine. Okay, so the winner for the cultural context is the Spanish section! So what do I do?
What went into the positions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, before I start, I must say that I am also multilingual. I speak English, I speak Ghana, I speak Chi. Clap for me. All right. So we have been doing this for some time, and sometimes when during competitions like this, we are looking at movement. We are looking at movement authenticity. We are looking at audience appeal. We are looking at use of space. we are looking at creativity. Now, I'll just mention one of them so that you get a fair idea. When you take Kiswahili and you take Spanish and you juxtapose their performance concerning space, Kiswahili did 2 dances. They stood in one place throughout the performance. So it means that they did not use the space that was given them. But when you look at Spanish, you could see how they interchanged their position and occupied the space. Now, let me say that the competition is between 5 different groups. So, Arabic. I remember when we mentioned Arabic, I heard people say, oh, yeah, just like that. This is the issue. You did poetry. There is what we call prose. As I speak, I'm doing a prose, okay? Somebody can dance to it. All right, so if you are reciting poetry, somebody could have done movements to your poetry, and that will be choreo poem. But you just recited the poetry to us, and there were the actions, okay? You were just standing and just delivering, okay? So with the Chinese, I think, did well with the costume. Very well with the costume. And the karate or Tai Chi movement was okay. It was an okay performance. All right? And then you had your mask man. Normally you find them in the Chinese dragon dances. Okay? Your mask man was too polite, shaking everybody over everywhere. That's nice. But we expected more, especially the interaction between your dancer and the one who was wearing the mask. So that is where we had challenges. The one in the mask, your performance was a bit too gentle for our liking. Okay. And Russia. I am told I have 1 minute, so let me summarize. In a nutshell, we gave marks to specific areas. Okay? So you might do well in a very particular area, but you may not do well in other areas. Kiswahili, your dancers, even though your confidence and everything was good, TikTok. A lot of them are on TikTok, and so your creativity was very low. But of course, you were great performers. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And we want to remind you that all the students who performed were aware of this criteria before they came. We need to repeat this. Shukran. Thank you so much. Yes, take over.
So it's time to award the best performers. And we are honored to have our keynote speaker here, Prof. Diodene Afachao, and our own head of department, Dr. Joanna Bwampon, to give the prize to the winners. So we invite the reps. We invite the Spanish Club president to receive the award.
She was 14, I was 15. Me and Habibi had some big dreams, but we got lost up in the city. Oh, do you think about me? We used to sneak up in every race. You used to run up on me this week, that week, this week, that week. You just wanted to be in my arms. Yeah, she said tonight, 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 I don't wanna see those daylights now. You don't wanna see those daylights now. Everything is too okay right now. Tonight, 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 I don't wanna see those daylights now. You don't wanna see those daylights now. Everything is too okay right now.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. So you go ahead. Go ahead.
At this time that we are almost closing our program, I am happy to call Miss Nana Sewa Bediako, a student from the Spanish section, to give us the vote of thanks.
Okay, before Ms. Bediako says the vote of thanks, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Your Excellency Daniel Garces Carabali, Ambassador, Embassy of Colombia in Ghana. Please, let's appreciate him. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you. Colombia. Yes. And please, when we are done, we are not actually done. We have part 2, which is the Multicultural Fair. So we'll plead with you to remain seated, and then we'll tell you what to do after here. So please be patient with us. Thank you. Okay, so we acknowledged them earlier, but we want to acknowledge them again as we have them in our midst. So please, let's appreciate His Excellency Javier Gutierrez, Ambassador, Embassy of Spain in Ghana. Please, let's acknowledge him. And we have his deputy here, His Excellency Diego Sportono as well. Please, let's appreciate him. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. All too soon, we have come to the end of this wonderful event. We wish to thank all of you for your time and enthusiastic participation. We would like to especially thank our sponsors, without whom this event could not have materialized as beautifully as it has. A special thank you to the Ghanaian Association of Hispanistas, la Embajada de Colombia en Ghana, la Embajada de España en Ghana, ACID, la Agencia Española de Cooperación Internacional para el Desarrollo, Turbia, a Embaixada do Brasil em Ghana. We say thank you for your participation and contribution to the event. To our esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps, we say thank you. Your Excellency, Javier Gutierrez, Ambassador, Embassy of Spain, and Your Excellency, Diego Sportono, Deputy to the Ambassador of Spain, Your Excellency, Daniel Garces Carabali, of the Embassy of Colombia in Ghana, Your Excellency Eika de la Rosa, of the Management and Environmental of the Cultural Affairs of the Embassy of Colombia, Your Excellency Jorge Valdez, Head of Mission, Embassy of Chile, Your Excellency Liliana Gomez de Weston, the Ambassador of Peru, Your Excellency Ms. Lorena Gonzalez, Head of Consular and Cultural Affairs, Embassy of of Mexico. Your Excellency, Mrs. Luisa Maria de Lima Ocha Barbosa, the Councilor, Charge d'Affaires, Embassy of Brazil in Ghana, and Mr. Marcelo Mayor Coelho, a Portuguese teacher at the Embassy of Brazil in Ghana. Your Excellency, Sultan bin Abdul Ahman Al-Dakhil, the ambassador, the Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Your Excellency, Alex Zeleniko of the Russian, who is the Russian ambassador to Ghana, To all the students who painstakingly dedicated their time, effort, and resources into putting up spectacular performances today, we say Ayuko. To the volunteers and ushers who have given their all to ensure that we have a well-coordinated event, we say thank you. To all faculty members, without whose input this event would not have been possible, we say thank you. To our DML alumni, without whose contribution and participation this event would not have been possible, we say thank you. To our DML associates, friends, scholars, and partners, we say thank you. And from the DML to everyone present here and online, we say shukran, shushin, asanteni, spasiba, gracias, e muito obrigado.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nana Sewa Bediako, for the vote of thanks. Now we invite Ghana Dance Ensemble to lead us as we go and then start our multicultural fair. Please remain seated. Yes. So the members of the diplomatic corps will follow the Ghana Dance Ensemble, followed by members of the faculty. Okay, so the members of the diplomatic corps will follow Ghana Dance Ensemble, and they'll be followed by faculty members, our guests, and then our students. We have a sword cutting ceremony right at that side of the building. So please, okay. Please do not go. We have the part 2, which is the multicultural fair. There'll be exhibition outside. Please do not be in a hurry. You can taste food from some of the sections, and then let's have a feel of the culture. Let's have a feel of the other sections so that we can end this beautifully. So thank you for honoring our invitation, and we are so happy that you are here to celebrate with us. Thank you. Ghana Dance Ensemble, please lead the way. Ushers, please help them.
Hello? This is working. Please, let's appreciate Ghana Dance Ensemble. Let's appreciate them. Thank you so much, Ghana Dance Ensemble. So we have introductory remarks from the head of department, Dr. Joanna Bwampo. Let's appreciate our head of department as she gives her introductory remarks.
Excuse me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing on the protocols already observed. I know time is fast spent. And I'm anxious to get the fair open. It is my utmost pleasure to welcome you to the second event of the day, the Multicultural Fair. It is time for us to revel in the rich tapestry of cultures that make the Department of Modern Languages vibrant, strong, and unique at the University of Ghana. With this fair, we seek to honor the traditions, music, art, culinary delights, and many more from Ghana, the countries whose languages are on offer at the Department of Modern Languages. Our Multicultural Fair is purposed to be a platform for cultural exchange, discovery, and education. It's a space where, as we learn from each other, share our music, dance, and cuisine, we will reinforce our bridges of understanding. As we have gathered to celebrate the diversity that is the hallmark of our department, let us embrace fully our shared humanity. Let us savor the flavors, rhythms, and traditions that make our department a beautiful mosaic, as we have all seen with the performances of our students. We thank everyone whose contributions and efforts have made our journey of discovery, connection, and joy possible, especially our participating countries, the embassies of Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Peru, and Saudi Arabia. Profound gratitude to our unwavering collaborators and sponsors, the Embassy of Colombia, the Ghana Association of Hispanists, the Embassy of Spain, and the Spanish Agency for International Cooperation Development. You are welcome to participate wholeheartedly, learn from each other, and create lasting memories. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joanna Bwampo. Now we invite the Spanish Embassy, the ambassador, to give us his remarks. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Buenas tardes. I have prepared a statement. I imagine that this will be a bit more formal, but it's lovely like this. It's very happening. I'm really excited to see all the students, the professors. Congratulations on your 60th anniversary. For us, the University of Ghana is a key actor, is one of our main stakeholders in Ghana. We have been cooperating with the department almost since the creation of the Spanish Embassy in 1967. As you know, the Department of Modern Languages was created a few years ago. And I can say that to some extent the story or the history of the embassy is connected to the history of the department. Recently, both Professor Joanna and Benedicta showed me some old photos where I could see some moments of the Spanish embassy that I didn't know, and it was really enlightening. I would say that we have been cooperating actively through the presence of lecturers. For instance, we have one lecturer with us, Professor Alba Rodrigo. Also, like to acknowledge her presence. We have been cooperating through Casa Hispanica, the Lope de Vega virtual classroom, through scholarships, and training and capacity building. I would like to mention also that the cooperation with the Latin American or Ibero-American countries, as we say, also has been very intense. We're very proud of this cooperation in the cultural field and also with the university. I'd like to highlight that in the past few years we have strived to integrate more the department, the Spanish section, in the networks of Hispanics in Africa and globally. I'm happy to see that the teachers of Spanish of the university are increasingly participating in these international events. And I think that this is a very good, practical and a very good path to follow, to build networks, partnerships, not only with embassies or cooperation agencies, but also with other universities, with foundations and civil society in our countries and beyond. So finally, I'd like to highlight the opportunities offered by the program Erasmus of the European Union. I encourage everybody, both students and teachers, to take advantage of these programs because there are many opportunities there. So, two final remarks. Let me pay tribute in particular to the academic excellence of the Professor of Spanish of the university, and let me wish the Department of Modern Languages a successful celebration and many more years ahead of academic excellence. Please enjoy the party. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you. Now we invite the Colombian ambassador to give us his remarks.
Alguien debe traducir siempre. Afi. Usted va a traducir. Vale. Es para la Embajada de Colombia en Ghana y para el gobierno de Ghana un honor estar en esta celebración de los 60 años del Departamento de Lenguas de la Universidad.
It is a great honor for the Embassy of Colombia in Ghana to be here celebrating the 60th anniversary of the Department of Modern Languages.
Durante años, la Embajada y nuestros gobiernos han cooperado con el Departamento de Lenguas, con la universidad, en esta nueva etapa de la relación con el gobierno de Ghana y los gobiernos de el West África y el continente africano. La decisión del gobierno de Colombia es fortalecer las perspectivas científicas, académicas, de investigación y de intercambio.
For many years, the government of Colombia and Ghana have been collaborating, and this has reached a point where we have been collaborating in many programs such as scholarships, trainings.
Y es por eso que el año pasado hemos realizado de manera conjunta el congreso más importante de la investigación y la ciencia en el mundo, LASA África, que por primera vez se realizó en África y en esta universidad.
And that is why last year we participated with other entities to bring this into a reality. And then we had the programs such as the LASA conference, the Association for Latin American Studies Conference, which took place last year in the University of Ghana, the first of which took place in Africa.
LASA se realiza en Bogotá la siguiente semana y tanto docentes como estudiantes de la Universidad de Ghana estarán participando en este importante tanque de pensamiento y de investigación científica a nivel global con la colaboración de la Embajada de Colombia en Ghana.
So with the collaboration of the Colombian Embassy in Ghana, there will be another LASA conference happening next week in Bogotá, Colombia, where the students of Ghana, of the University of Ghana, will also have the opportunity to go there and participate in the research and the scientific research and the academic research that is being done with the LASA.
Reafirmamos nuestro compromiso de seguir trabajando con ustedes, con la universidad, con el departamento en estas perspectivas. Simplemente hay que seguir celebrando esta fiesta de la academia, de la investigación y de las lenguas. Muchas gracias.
So we will continue to reaffirm our promise to you, and we will keep working hand in hand with the university and with the Department of Modern Languages to ensure peaceful collaboration and wonderful cohabitation. Thank you.
So it's time to cut the tape to officially declare the Multicultural Fair open. And we would like to invite Professor Dieudonné Afachao, and would like to invite the Spanish ambassador, and would like to invite as well the Colombian ambassador to do us the honors of cutting the tape.
Together, no?
Yes.
Yes, someone here. Everybody. At the back, is there anything there? Sorry. When you open the door.
Yes.
So when we open this door, we stand where to take the picture.
So we declare the Multicultural Fair officially open. Please, let's appreciate ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Feel free to go to any tent
Okay, please.
and then taste any food.
There is announcement. All faculty members must stay behind for a group picture just outside with the diplomats. Take a picture with the diplomats outside. We are having the fair. Students should also remain seated.
Students, please remain seated. Thank you. Please remain seated.
Madam Dean, can you kindly join? Chair should be. You are speaking Spanish. Please go. Please. Okay, then. So let's all to take the group picture outside.
Yes, please, the guests.
They invite guests,
yes, they invite
faculty
guests
members. Yes. Let's go outside to take the picture. Please, students, remain seated. All our invited guests, faculty members. Faculty members.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hello. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. This keeps on falling down.
Mr. Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum.
Take a picture, then.
Araba.
To let them keep quiet because they don't hear the announcement. We are going to
The faculty members should take a picture.
Faculty of foreign languages, time to take a picture, please.
Please, faculty.
Wait, Mike. Why near them, man? Inside, Mike. Say you brought it to us.
Yeah.
There are two, right? Where's the second one?
It's with the Arabic lecturer. It's the outside one.
Hello.
This not.
Hello. Hello. Hello, faculty members, please, and our invited guests, faculty members and guests, can we group picture? Faculty members, coordinators of the various sections, lecturers, faculty members. Yes. Okay. Lecturers, Coordinators of all sections.
First, no, please. First 5 rows here. Please go that way. And just walk straight. You will see, no, only first 5. So make sure it's only the first 5 getting up.
Show you are a champion.
Please remain seated. You will get food, don't worry. The next column, first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Madam in yellow t-shirt, yes, you. That's the last line. She's not looking at me. Yes, you, my dear. That's the last line. Please use that exit. Only that exit, please.
Oh, can I?
Namu rapi, the no rapi. Was it Shabere? Eh, one guy. Apa sugar? Ni no bad sugar. Sugar sikawa. What is that sugar? Ya magar. Kede kanka. Asa pa shan kofi ko? Na bari because oyo ya da mun ka. Anon na regulate. Na iber display wurin. Ninna sha. Ya ba ka mamaki ko. Please, what is this? Is somebody asking? It's the desert sand. Okay, what is desert in Arabic culture?